Lady called me last week, and the first thing out of her mouth was, Dave, I've got two of your competitors closer to my house than you are, and I still called you. I've been chewing on that ever since. She drove past two other HVAC shops on purpose to get to me, and I sat in the truck afterward wondering what actually makes a person do that. This has figured something out. I'm Dave. I fix air conditioners over in Kingfisher, and today I'm working through loyalty, not the word. People throw the word around loose, the actual thing underneath it, because I've watched it up close for a long time now. Folks who've called me for 20 years, folks who go out of their way to find me. And it turns out there's real research on what makes that happen, and some of it surprised me. I've had customers who found me because something broke. One call, I fixed it, they went on with their lives, and I never heard from them again. And I've had customers where the exact same thing happened. Something broke, I fixed it, and they've been calling me ever since. Same first meeting, completely different ending. For a long time, I figured it was just luck or personality. Some people stick and some don't, and that's that. But that's not what the research says. The research says loyalty gets built, and it gets built in certain ways at certain moments. And a whole lot of those moments have nothing to do with price. The folks who study trust for a living separate two things that look identical from the outside but are night and day underneath. The first one is inertia. The second one is real loyalty. Inertia is when somebody keeps coming back because leaving is a hassle. They don't love you. They just haven't gotten around to walking off yet. The research on how people actually shop says about 60% of your repeat customers are sitting in that boat. They're not loyal. They're just not gone yet. And the day a competitor makes it easy enough to switch, they switch. Real loyalty is a different animal. That's when a person picks you over the other guy on purpose, sticks up for you when your name comes up, and comes back even after something went wrong. The researchers have a fancy name for it, attitudinal loyalty, which just means it lives in how they feel about you, not only in what they do. And it holds up a lot better than inertia does. That difference matters because businesses mix the two up all the time. They see customers coming back and they figure they've earned it. They haven't. They've just been convenient. And convenient is a thin place to stand. The people who dug into what actually builds that deeper loyalty found a pattern, and it's a strange one. It almost never gets built on your best days. It gets built on the days you had to recover. There's a thing they call the service recovery paradox. When something goes sideways and a company handles it flat out right, that customer ends up more loyal than if nothing had gone wrong in the first place. The trouble hands you a chance to show something you couldn't show when everything was easy. That you know what you're doing when the pressure's on. That you'll be honest even when honesty costs you a little. That you'll come back when nobody would have blamed you for not. I watched this my whole career. The customer I've got the deepest relationship with, the one who's been with me the longest, is almost always somebody where something went cockeyed at some point. Maybe a repair didn't hold. Maybe a part sat on back order and they sweated through a hot spell longer than they should have. How I handled that stretch is the thing that locked us in, and the research spells out why. On a normal day, a customer doesn't really have to trust you. They just have to find you good enough. When something goes wrong, now they've got to decide whether they actually trust you. And a decision like that, made while they're stressed and uncomfortable, sticks in the memory a whole lot harder than every smooth visit that came before it. Here's the part most folks miss when they think about this. Loyalty isn't something you win once and hang on the wall. It's something you keep up. The research on long relationships says the biggest thing that eats loyalty away isn't some big blow up. It's what they call relationship neglect. That slow drift that sets in when you quit giving a longtime customer the same attention you gave them back when they were brand new. I've been guilty of it, not on purpose, but it's easy to pour your best into the new folks because the new folks make you. A 20-year customer just calls, you show up, you fix it, you head out. The thing runs on autopilot, and autopilot is exactly how a relationship goes cold without anybody deciding to let it. The customers I've held on to the longest are the ones I've stayed curious about. I know their house, I know what they put in and what year. I know what keeps them up about that old unit and what they're turning over in their head for next spring. Not because I've got some system tracking it, because I'm actually paying attention when I'm standing in their kitchen. That's what loyalty asks of you, not a discount program, not a punch card. Real attention to a real person who decided to trust you with something they care about. So here's what I figured out. Loyalty doesn't get built on the days everything goes right. It gets built on the days you show somebody who you really are when the pressure's on. And then it gets kept alive by staying curious about the people who already decided to trust you instead of treating their trust like money in the bank you can quit tending. The folks who've called me for 20 plus years never sat down and made one big decision to be loyal. They made 100 little observations about whether I was worth trusting, and they kept updating the answer. My whole job is making sure the answer stays yes. This has figured something out. I'm Dave Hartzell, and I appreciate you riding along. Call 405-375-4822 or book at hartzellseadair.com.